Hi friends, MD Vegan with my Life Bakery again. Yeah, I've done that earlier a lot, now a little bit rare, but I have these wonderful apricots. Here you see, 3 cups or so. And I checked it out before I began. I checked out how many apricots do I need to put it into this spring form. This is the cake I make, this is the size. So small spring form, maybe 20 centimeters here, 19 a 17 or so, not too large, just medium. I got a party outside today in the garden. I'm invited. I just dropped by and gave him a little bit of cake, a birthday party. They don't know yet. I hope it works. It was a spontaneous decision. But when you make this kind of cake, when I make it, the idea of my idea is that I want to have mainly a fruit cake, a fruit pie. Yeah? So I want to have a lot of fruit inside because I need a crust on the bottom and then need a filling. That's in Rife Bakery, that's the thing. You need a filling that doesn't run away, that is firm. Yeah? You don't need to bake. You just press it in and let it cool down in the fridge, and that should cool. That's the problem. And when you use fruit, it becomes a very healthy tart. Yeah? So but to know how much fruit I need, to wash them and cut them into halves first. In this case, the little here apricots, and then I place them inside until it's full, really full, and then I know how many I need. Yeah. So now that's more than 3 cups, halved apricots. So I just want to tell you what I do to prepare. Yeah. Got the crust, the filling, and make sure the filling is firm. So I begin with the crust. The crust is usually the easiest part, but you don't need a food processor with that. I mean, you can make crusts just with dates. Yeah, you can just dates. You can press the dates. You cut them and press them. Cut them small on a cutting board. Press them into a little dough. Put them on the bottom, and you have a date crust. You could do that, and you could also knead it with some nut flour. You can do that too. Well, you can do all these things, but the best thing, what I found for making a crust is the food processor fitted with the S-plate. And since I have this instrument, this tool, crusts making is so easy. And you look it up in other recipes, other people who make Rife Bakery, you always see that tool. Yeah, that's very nice. So I have here 1.5 cups almonds, a little bit more than 1.5 maybe. It's an almond crust. That's a standard. And I add dates to make it stick together, because when you process the almonds, it won't stick together, just almond flour. You need something to make it stick together, and that's the dates. But before I put the dates in, I found processing the almonds alone makes it easier, because once the flour is broken down, the almonds are broken down to flour, then putting in the dates saves more time, because with the dates takes much longer. So I begin with the flour, a coarse meal they call it, blend it in. That looks good, and I show you what it is, what a coarse meal means to me. This is a coarse meal, you see. And now I put the dates in, and I have, I guess it's a dozen dates or so. Let me count it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10 dates. So 10 dates, yeah, for 1.5 cup of almonds. It's okay ratio. Yeah, I don't want to have it too sweet. And you can take as many as you want, but you do a certain amount you do need. But 10 dates is clearly enough. Less is possible. Look at it, sticky dough. That's the next step. And I add some lime zest. It's a lime zest, one lime. And that's a special flavor, adding to the dates and to the almonds in the first place. because there's a special relationship between almonds and apricots. Together with the lime. Wonderful. So, next step, sticky dough. Well, I hope it's sticky. Let's check. Oh yeah. Well, I think so. I'll show you what the sticky dough looks like. Sticky dough. Sorry, dough. A friend of mine told me from America. Dough, they say. Okay. Here, sticky dough, and you see, this is what I call sticky. When you press it together with the fingers, it sticks together, and that's what you need to have to make the crust. The next step is making the crust. So I put the blade, take the blade out, and now I just fill the sticky dough into my spring foam. And as you see, the spring foam is lined with parchment paper. Here, parchment paper. That helps me to lift the cake out, the pie out, and to serve it to another place, put it there. That's usually also important and practical thing. It's easier than that. You don't need to do that, but it's easier. So I recommend it. I always do that. So now I put the dough into the form. And now comes a very important job, to press the sticky dough into the spring form to get the crust. And that's important because the crust is not baked, you see, will not be baked. And first I spread it evenly before I begin to push it down, to press it down. Spread it evenly, so everywhere. And now I can decide what kind of crust I want. Do I want to have a tart or a pie, basically? And that's decided now. I make it just a tart. A pie, just a pie, it's a flat pie. So I put it everywhere even. All these expressions, there's debate about it, I don't know. I think the pie is flat and the tart has some dough crust going up to the sides, but never mind. I make a pie. Anyway, so spread it evenly, like this, you see, thoroughly. And now I have to press it down and take my knuckles. So can I use a tool? So I have a tool for that. To press it down, I take my knuckles here, the hands, the fists. Begin gently, because this is important, because when you want to now serve the cake or the pie and you want to cut a piece out, you want to make sure that this piece keeps together, and with a crust that is falling apart, you can still eat it. This crust here is very nice. It is a dessert by itself. You can make little balls of it, serve it, you can put other fruit into it. Apricots, dried fruit, and a wonderful, wonderful dessert. Energy balls, they call that. But for a crust, it's perfect. So I have some time to do here. I will come back in a second, because you don't need to watch me all the time. I have to do this thoroughly. I have to use the fingertips to put down the sides, because that's the critical places where they fall apart so much. And so, come back in a second. So that's my crust. It's done. Here, see, and take some time to get it really nice and firm, but it is worth it. It's so much more fun to cut out a nice piece, right? It works. It's cool. So, set the crust aside. Now I make the filling, because basically I just want to get the apricots into the filling. That's the idea, the apricot pie. But to do that, I need a filling that it keeps together, and for that I make a white chocolate cream. White chocolate cream sounds totally complicated. But what I do is, I have 2 cups of cashews, not full 2 cups, I don't need that much. Almost 2 cups of cashews. They go in the blender. This is my power blender. It's a brand new model from Germany. It's called Revoblend. And Revoblend is it's made to rival the big American names, brands, blender brands. and it's more expensive, it's more powerful, it has some advantages, a large bottom, super blades, special blades, and all these things. Check it out. I mean, I recommend it, but I guess it's only in Germany now. I'm not sure if it will expand. It's a good guy. He knows everything about raw food, and so he's deep in the development. And the company does it is a classical German kitchen tool company from ancient times. So they know what they do. So it's a good thing. The warranty is not and so. So that's the first part. It's the cashew nuts, and I could have soaked them. Yeah, I thought about that because soaking is so much easier with the blender. Yeah, it is easier for the blender on the machine, you know, the technique. But I cannot control the water content as good because when you soak the cashews, they are full of water, and that water makes the cream runnier, thinner. And same with the dates. Soaking dates is highly recommended when you make a date mousse, for example. I soak that before ahead of time, and then I blend it with the water with the blender here, make the date mousse, and I have to put in there water anyway. But this is not about date mousse. This is about making a cream that firms up in the fridge and holds the many apricots together. So I need to be in control of the water content of that. So I don't soak it ahead of time. I put the dates, there's a dozen dates first to begin. I can always taste on the cashews. And this is not easy to blend for the blender because it's all dry. So I put in a little bit of water to make the blender go, just a little bit. And I can always, the blender here has a lid that can be opened like this, and you can pour water or other things while blending. You can watch it. And then what I also can do is I have the chocolate part. I make a white chocolate cream, and this is cacao butter. That's maybe half a pound or so, 120 grams or so. Chocolate cacao butter, the fat from the cacao, the butter, and it's usually firm, and you can have little lentils or big blocks. You can scratch some of the block, and then I put it into this container, metal container, on a water bath, and then it melts very fast. But that's needed to make the cream firm up. It has to be firm. When you take it out of the fridge, it should not melt. And that makes sure. That is a good thing. But I will begin without it, and I can also use the liquefied butter to make it runnier. But that comes later. I begin with my blender. Let's see what the blender does. And at first, this is also a good blender because I can begin with a small tempo, low tempo. Great to me. Sounds great to me. Yeah. Now, look, maybe you can see the difference. Looks very smooth now. See? And so what I do now, the idea is to place all the apricots stick together in the form, in the filling. But when I put the apricots right on the crust, it could just fall down. To make the connection a little bit cement, I put some of the filling on the bottom of the crust, just a little bit. You can see the texture of this when it flows here. You see what I got here? See, that's the thickness. A little bit more. See, and it firms up already. It begins to firm up. I have some time here. It's no issue. And now I have to spread the cream, the white chocolate cream, evenly on the ground, on the crust. It's like the first layer. Yeah? So I don't need much. It's just a little bit to get to make the apricots stick on the crust and not to slide over. That would be not a nice cake. You know, the making of the cake would be not so good if it falls down everything. That's an easy trick, and it works. I tried it before. Other cakes, other pies. So yeah, you don't need much. I show you what I have here. See, this is all I need. Just a little bit on top of the crust. And now I can place all my apricots. I will do that. The outside will be this. Yeah, because this will be seen on the outside of the cake. I put them all around in a ring and press them against the wall with the back. And that takes some time. I will come back in a moment when I'm done, because you don't need to watch me all the time. But I do that. You see what I'm doing. I put them right away and so forth. I'll come back in a second. I did it. Yeah, I placed them all, you see, tight into this spring form. Beautiful, right? And they have a flavor, you won't believe it. These are really sweet, no, they are sour sweet. They have this natural sour flavor from the apricots. Sometimes they're very sweet, but these are a little bit more sour. Ah, so delicious, very exciting, right? And of course, they're full of apricot flavor, and so very nice. So now, what I do have to do now, I put the sweet, that's important, the contrast, sweet chocolate, white chocolate cream on top. And yeah, it's still runny. Let's see. Yeah, it's good. And that now will make them stick together, right? Let's show you if it runs. Show you one again. It's still running. Sometimes it's slow, but it's good. But it's firm. It is sure. It is safe for that to firm up really nice. You see, and put it in the fridge. See those? I take now the stumper and of this tool and scrape it out of the. I have a little bit. And that's another, by the way, another advantage of this blender. I mentioned it before. It is one of the reasons why I bought it in the first place 12 years ago, the first model, because what I have to focus now, I have to push everything into the cake, into the apricots, so they have to go, the cream has to go everywhere. Yeah, okay, I get it. One reason was that it has a large bottom of the blender case here, container. The large bottom makes sure that I can now reach down between the blades and get everything out. There are other blenders, they're very narrow on around the blades, so you cannot reach down easily. And especially when you make these kind of creams with nuts or cashews or whatever, there's a lot of cream that remains in the blender, and that is an advantage of this one. And they have made this blender for that purpose exactly. They wanted to make sure that that doesn't happen. Because other blenders have that. They have a narrow bottom end, and you don't reach down. Yeah, I have to say, that's one of the reasons why I got it in the first place, and it's true. It's true. Because I worked with all the other blenders, I worked with that, and I had that same problem. I thought, why is that so narrow? And then they came up with this one and said, hey, good idea. So I guess I did it. There's a nice amount of chocolate on top. Has to firm up now. What I will do is I put a foil on top. And before I put it in the fridge, because yeah, when you're here, that's the surface. Now it sinks down between the apricots. That's a good thing, so they're nicely formed together. But still, there's a lot of apricot in there. It's the main part. But the foil on top makes sure that when you put it in the fridge, there's always water evaporating, condensing from the pie into the plate on top to make sure that nothing falls into the pie. And then the water condense under the plate, on the lid, and then they drop onto the top of the of the pie, and then you have these water puddles there. They cause different colors and so on. I don't like that. So easy to put a foil on top to make sure it's tight on the pie and the filling. And then I put it in the fridge, and there's no water then between the foil and the pick, and then you can easily pick up the foil and I always use. I show you that in the next part of the video when I come back. That will be tomorrow maybe, or a little later in the day. Depends on how long I take. I could put it in the fridge and easily wait overnight until everything is firm. But maybe I go out in the afternoon to that backyard party, and I want to have it ready. So I could also put it in the freezer to make it fast. Anyway, I show you when it's ready when I come back. That's the cake, the pie. I guess it's done. Here I show you the foil on the surface. It has been in the freezer now, as I was. I have to go out now very soon and present it. So now I'll show it to you before I do that. And this is what I do. I just take the foil off. Very easy. Have a nice surface. And I keep that, of course. Don't want to waste it, because when I have a chance to put it back in the fridge, then I will put it again on top here. What I now have to do is I have to open it and cut out a piece. I want to show you. And I have a very thin knife, a thin and flexible knife that I use to run around the cake to loosen it from the side. But I have to check if I need to do it. Sometimes it goes easy and sometimes not so. If I open now here the spring form and I check if it, I have to use the knife because I already see cracks in the surface. So to avoid these cracks, I have to run the knife around, but that's easy. Usually, because I have a nice filling, the white chocolate cream has firmed up, and I already see it loosens easily. Very careful. Almost no effort needed. Goes all by itself almost. That's a good thing, a good sign. You will see in a moment. So, it's done. I turn that around. I know exactly where I can put it back. And this is my cake. Now my pie, I show you here from the side, so you have an impression. You see there is the chocolate has gone down onto the apricots, as you can see. Looks nice. Yeah. And now we'll see what it looks like on the inside. For that, I have to take another kind of knife. This is a knife with a little teeth here, and it's sharp and thin too, because I have to cut through the whole fruit to the apricots, and with a regular knife it might not work, and then I tear apart the whole cake, the whole pie, the pieces. In order to get a nice piece, I had to do it this way. Let's see if it works. Always the great moment. Feels great. It feels like a firm texture. I have to cut down to the bottom. And this is also a reason why I line the spring form with a parchment paper, because when you cut down to the bottom like this, you touch the bottom with a knife and there's no parchment paper, you could scratch in the spring form. And then of course, spring form doesn't like it. It's not so good. You don't want to do that. You harm the spring form. And now I will make a small piece like this. Oh, deep down. Small piece. Hold it a little bit from the side. That looks great to me. I hope the piece will come out in one piece. Let's check from the bottom. Now we'll check if the crust is firm, keeps firm, keeps tight. Let's see, it holds tight. We can take this one again. first piece is always the most difficult one. Well, it doesn't feel so bad. On a party, you would do it just to cut something out and begun. But I want to make a nice piece for a photo, and so I want to be a little bit more careful now. We are at a party that's definitely not necessary. It looks good to me, so maybe one more time. Down to the bottom. Make it a little bit easier. Yeah. Piece begins to come out. Looks good to me. Well, soon we'll see one piece, the first piece. There we go. Look at that. What do you say? That's my white chocolate apricot pie, the first piece. I'm pretty content. That's nice. Put it on the plate. Oopsie. Yeah, there's something inside. A little bit from the crust has stayed inside. Well, no problem. That's okay. That's fine with me. Here. I'm gonna serve that to my friends outside. Well, I don't know them even yet. The neighbors, the first time I meet them. I guess it would be a nice one. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. If you like my video, subscribe MD Vegan on YouTube. Have another recipe every single day. And find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and X. So I think the party can begin. And I hope the others will enjoy as much as I do watching this. How about you?